It's always a great pleasure to have with us Giovanni Stanghellini. Giovanni is a psychiatrist and psychotherapist and philosopher, professor for dynamic psychology at D'Annunzio University at Chieti, fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine in London, and professor at Universidad Diego Portales of Santiago del Chile. Giovanni, we are in an historic moment for phenomenology because the new Oxford Handbook of Phenomenological Psychopathology is coming out in the 27th of June. You are the chief editor of this book, and we are here to talk about this. Let's start with a personal, phenomenological, if you want, question. What was it like to work with the most important phenomenologists and put them together into a single book?
It was very easy because everybody was eager to participate in this project. I found no one who rejected my invitation to participate in the book. And indeed, this book collects about 100 phenomenologists from all over the world, including what are nowadays considered the most important figures in the field. Just to mention some of them, philosophers like Dan Zahavi or Roberta de Monticelli, or clinicians like Joseph Parnas, Louis Saz, and Thomas Fuchs. So it was quite easy and amusing, I would say, yes. Of course, a lot of energies, a lot of time. We have been working for about 5 years on this project, but I have nothing to regret.
Okay. Which fields of study is phenomenological psychopathology researching on today?
Well, indeed, the agenda of phenomenology today includes research, but also includes manualization. Okay. As far as the first question is concerned, research. There is quite a lot of research going on about life worlds, meaning the kind of worlds in which our patients live. There is quite a lot of research in this area, and this research is conducted by several centers around the world. Just to make an example, a couple of years ago, Louis Saz, Thomas Fuchs, myself, and others, we published the examination of anomalous world experience. That is a sort of summa about the life world inhabited by persons with schizophrenia. There is a lot of research going on life worlds inhabited by melancholic and manic persons, borderline persons, persons with addictions, persons with eating disorders. So there are new areas of research in this very old topic. As you and our audience may know, the concept of life world dates back to the late 30s, and it was the idea of Edmund Husserl to address the efforts of researchers in the direction of describing the kind of experience persons make in their own environment, and sorting out different sorts of life worlds as different realms or universes of experience. What's the purpose for this? The purpose is that within its own life world, each behavior, even the most bizarre and awkward behavior, becomes meaningful. And this is the core of phenomenology, making abnormal, deviant, awkward, bizarre behaviors meaningful within their own life world. There is always a method in mania, as Shakespeare used to say. So there is always a rationality within the apparent irrationality of a person's behavior. But this rationality must be searched for in the kind of experience he makes in his own life world.
Like roots behind madness, roots behind delusions.
Sure, sure. This, I think, is the main purpose of phenomenological research. To look for a rationality within the apparently irrational behavior of persons.
Finding structural relations between experiences lived by a person like this, in this sense.
Sure. This is another level of research indeed. Another prejudice about madness is that there is no unity in the different behaviors of a given patient, that they're not interconnected to each other. There is not a core meaning subtending all the behaviors of a given patient. But phenomenology goes exactly in the opposite direction. In the talk I will give this afternoon, I will distinguish between phenomena and legomena, which is a word that I adopted and transformed from Aristotle. And phenomena, we all know what they are. Phenomena is what is present in the field of experience of a given person. Legomena is a concept to address the structural unity of the phenomena that are present in the field of experience of a given person. This is what phenomenology is about: finding phenomena and then bringing them together into a unity of meaningfulness that I call legomena.
Thank you very much. Last question. What are the areas of knowledge still to be investigated in phenomenological psychopathology in the next years?
Well, I think we have done quite a lot in the last, say, 15 years to include within the agenda of clinical phenomenology new areas as compared to traditional areas. Traditional areas were, of course, schizophrenia, obsessions, melancholia, and mania. We have plenty of wonderful essays on these areas from the first generation of clinical phenomenologists like Binswanger, Erwin Strauss, and Eugen Minkowski, and second generation including Hubertus Stellenbach, Wolfgang Blankenburg, and others. And the third generation of clinical phenomenologists to which I belong has developed quite a lot of new work on schizophrenia, but also on melancholia. But certainly the frontier of clinical phenomenology in the clinical field, I'm talking here about clinical research because also there is research, translational research, so the interface between phenomena and neural substrates. But in clinical research, certainly borderline personality disorder, narcissism, addictions, and I would say first, feeding and eating disorders are the frontiers. Just to make an anticipation, my next book will be about eating and feeding disorders in Italian.
Okay. This is a good news.
Hope so.